Hello, welcome back. Episode 5, Bonomo Show, Cooking with Jesse. What do we got tonight? Well, we got something that you're really gonna like, and it's really easy. Even though you might think in your head that it's really hard. It's not hard, it's simple. I'm talking about chicken Fettuccine Alfredo. Alright, let's do it. Hey, I just want to say thanks for everybody who watching the show. You know, that one person out there, I think I know who you are, who give me the dislike on every show. The one person, I know who you are. And if you're watching right now, yo man, start working out. Do something for your kids, man. Don't be a punk ass bitch, because that's what you are, a cake ass. Anyway, besides that, everybody else loves my shit. Let's do it, man. We kicking chicken Fettuccine Alfredo. Let's get into the ingredients. Let's start it. Hey, go! Cooking with Jesse, having a good time. Cooking with Jesse, living the high life. Cooking with Jesse, having a good time. Cooking with Jesse, relax, it's showtime. Oh, let's do it. Let's get into the ingredients, man. Now, Alfredo sauce. It might seem intimidating to you, but let me tell you, it's not. It's easy. I mean, you really can make this recipe with 3 ingredients. I'm talking about butter, heavy cream, and Parmesan cheese. That's all Alfredo sauce is. But we're going to make something that tastes a little bit better than that. Some of you are not going to get it at Olive Garden. Some of you ain't going to get it wherever the hell you going. You're only going to get it when you watch this show and do it with me. Alright, let's get into the ingredients right now. The first thing, we're going to start with the chicken ingredients. You're going to need a large chicken breast, boneless, of course, right here. And with that, you're going to need a 1/4 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. And for the spices in this, we're going to use 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1 teaspoon of onion salt, onion powder, salt, powder, whatever. You're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. For your Alfredo sauce, the ingredients you're going to need 1 cup of heavy cream. 1 cup of heavy cream. You're going to need 1 cup of milk. I'm using 2% milk here. You're going to need 4 cloves of garlic, minced, like that is. Ooh, it's nice. And you're going to need 2 tablespoons of fresh minced parsley. Now, I finally got my Italian parsley, man. Thank you for not buying it all. I finally could get some. And I got my Italian parsley back, and it's going to really make this dish exciting. Now, here's some other ingredients you're going to need for this recipe. You're also going to need a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I think, oh no, that is the nutmeg. The brown stuff is the nutmeg. You're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper. You can use black pepper. We're going to use white pepper because it blends in with the color of the sauce. So not only are we making a great sauce, we're making it aesthetically pleasing for you and your loved one or loved ones. You're also going to need a tablespoon of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. Now, in any recipe, the better ingredients you get, the better it's going to taste. So I got this expensive Belgiaggio Parmesan cheese. We're going to try this. We're going to use this. You're also going to need some fettuccine noodles for your sauce. Now, there's something else you're going to need in this recipe that I don't have out here. So I'm just going to walk over here and grab it because I'm sick of this shit. You're going to need some butter. So I got 2 tablespoons of salted butter we're going to use for the chicken. And you're going to need 1 tablespoon of butter for the sauce. And those are the ingredients for this recipe, fellas and ladies and women and children and anyone else who's watching today. Thanks a lot again. let's get into it for the first step. Let's go. Alright, the first step to this dinner is we're going to cut up our chicken breast. So we got our chicken breast here. We're going to take it off our fancy plate, put it over here. Grab our knife and we're going to cook this into, we're going to cut this into little strips. You know what I mean? So, just like I'm doing here, you're going to cut this chicken into, I'd say this is a 1/2 inch thick strip of chicken. All the way down. Now, you know, my show, you might hear all these distracting noises in the background. Well, let me tell you something, man. I live in Inglewood and people be crazy doing harmonica sounds. My son in his room yelling at Roblox people because he can't handle losing, just like me. So don't worry about it, man. We just making some chicken Alfredo, Parmesan, whatever the hell I called it earlier. Actually, it's called chicken Fettuccine Alfredo. So we're just making, you know what I'm saying, we just cutting down the middle. You see me doing it right here on the overhead cam. It's a GoPro, it's a piece of shit. And we're just gonna finish up this chicken breast because we're gonna use this once we get all the sauce and the fettuccine cooked. We're gonna put this in there, and you know, chicken fettuccine Alfredo, it's a favorite dish for everybody. Alright, so now we got our chunks here. And we're going back to the basics, people. The basics for me is a Ziploc bag, because this is the easiest way to mix seasoning, or to well, if you're trying to fry something, if you're trying to saute something, to get the seasoning all over the meat or the ingredients you're using. This is the easy way to do it. So we're going to take our Ziploc bag, we're going to take our 1/4 cup of flour, we're going to put it in there. We're going to take our garlic powder, our onion powder, our salt and our pepper, we're going to put it in there too. Now here's something, you know, I didn't mention before, but I'm going to mention it now. You know, I like to put a little ground paprika in here to give it a smoky barbecue type flavor. So I'm just going to put a little pinch in there. If you don't have paprika, don't worry about it. But if you do, put it in there. Now you're going to take your chicken, you're going to throw it in the plastic bag like I'm doing here. Zip it up. Don't worry if you get chicken grease all over the Ziploc bag, you're throwing this shit away in a minute. And then we're going to mix it all up. Just like the bread and cauliflower. Just like the motherfucking eggplant parmesan. It's the same basic idea. But we're not going to bread this. We're just going to keep it with the flour and these seasonings. And we're gonna saute it like that. Just to give it a little crust. Doesn't need to be, you know, a fried chicken. Because that's just, well, that might work with, you know, Alfredo sauce. Anything works with Alfredo sauce. I'm going to tell you right now. You could pour that on broccoli, shrimp. Get some shrimps. Do that shit. Whatever. Alright. We got this. Now we're going to get this on the saute pan and cook it up. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute up our chicken for this chicken fettuccine Alfredo. So we got our pan on medium heat, and we're going to put our 2 tablespoons of butter in here and melt it. Oh, and by the way, while I'm here, you're going to want to have a pot filled with water for your fettuccine. So let's get that heated up real quick. So I'm going to turn that on high. Oh, you hear that? Tick, 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 tick. And we're going to let this butter melt down before we put the chicken in. So we just slide it around. It's real nice, real easy. We got our water going so we get our fettuccine going. And you know, we're going to get right into it. And once you got your butter melted in there, we're just going to add our chicken and put it on one side and let it simmer or fry for about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. I'm trying to get a little crust. It doesn't really matter. You just really want to cook this chicken all the way through. I'm just adding them to the pan with the butter. It's gonna get a nice little crust. And it's gonna be a nice little chicken to put in your Alfredo. All those are in. Let that sit for about, I'd say 2 to 3 minutes, and then you're gonna flip it over. Just want to make sure that this chicken is cooked all the way through. And since you slice it so thin, it's not going to take that long to do so. So let's just let it sit for another 2 minutes, and I'll get back at you. It's been 2 minutes, maybe 2.5, 3. We're going to flip our chicken now. Like I said, you just want to brown it. Like I got it right here. It's looking real good. And this is simmering in butter, so if you're like my wife, it don't matter what you do. As long as you simmer it in butter, it's going to taste good. So we're going to flip these pieces. We're flipping them over. They got a perfect brown on me that I like a lot. We're going to let this sit for another 2 to 3 minutes, and then this will be done. And we'll move on to the next step of the recipe. Been 3 minutes. You know, you want to look underneath, make sure this chicken looks good. Give it a little tap. See how firm it is. The firmer it is, that means it's done. Well, this chicken's done. We're going to take it off the heat. We're going to cover it up. We're going to let it sit while we make this Alfredo sauce. So we're going to move it out the way and put it over there, and we're going to get our Alfredo pan ready. Now I'm using a saucepan. You can make this sauce in a saute pan, you can make it in a saucepan, you can make it in whatever pan you want, man. You just need to have enough room in your pan to handle all the ingredients I told you about earlier. So I'm going to use my saucepan, and I'm going to turn it on to medium heat. And we're going to let that heat up for a little bit. Now for this sauce, you're going to need a whisk, okay? If you don't have one, I don't care. You're a fucking idiot. You can get one of these. I just bought a set of 3 of them for $5.99 at Rouse. Yes, $5.99 at Rouse, baby. I got 3 of them, brand new. No rust, looking good. We're going to use them. Get a whisk for this. If you don't have a whisk for this, you're going to need to use a fork and whisk it up like you whisk up scrambled eggs. But this is the easiest route, people. So get one of these. Cheap. Need them in your kitchen for a lot of recipes. Get one. Now, once our pan is hot enough, we're going to add our last tablespoon of butter. And we're going to put it into the pan. And let it melt. Melt it up real good. Once the butter is melted, we're going to add our garlic. And we're going to saute this for 1 minute. Stirring the entire minute, okay? You can take 1 minute out of your life to stir the garlic, because if you don't stir the garlic, it's gonna burn and it's gonna taste like shit. So get the garlic in there, stir it up, 1 minute. Now I got my watch on, so I know exactly when 1 minute is. So we're going to put the garlic in there, stir it, constantly stirring for 1 minute. Keep it stirred up. Don't let it sit because it's gonna burn. Don't let it burn. If the heat seems like it's too hot, just turn it down. Easy. And I'm using a wooden spoon here to do this part of the recipe, but you're going to need that whisk like I said in a minute. Okay, it's been in here for a minute stirring. Now we're going to add our tablespoon of flour into the mix. Now this is what professional chefs call a roux. Okay, it just makes your sauce thick. It's flour and butter mixed together in a pan, and when you're cooking it, you just want to make sure it keeps this golden brown consistency and doesn't get, you know, burnt. So I put it in here. You know, people say it should sit for a minute, but this is literally going to take 30 seconds and it's ready for the next step. Next step, we're going to add our cream and we're going to add our milk. Hey. Now is when your whisk comes into play. You're going to need to use your whisk to whisk all this up, and it's going to be a constant whisk. I mean, that's what this sauce is all about. It's whisk, 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 whisk. You're going to whisk this up. Keep whisking it just to combine everything. Make sure everything at the bottom of the pan ain't burning or sticking. Once you do this, you're going to want to get this to a simmer. Once it starts simmering, I'll let you know what you do in the next part of this recipe. Alright, you keep it on whisking. Once it starts to simmer, we're going to want to turn this heat down to low. Let it simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes. Let it get a little bit thick. In the meantime, you got your water boiling for the fettuccine. But right now you paying attention to this Alfredo sauce. And you're going to want to let that cook on low heat for about 3 to 4 minutes until the sauce gets a little bit thicker, and then we're going to add our next ingredients to this. So once this has been simmering for 2 to 3 minutes and you're continuously whisking because you just stand over the stove like a freak, like I do, and you don't go anywhere. Now it's time to add our Parmesan cheese. We're going to add our cup of Parmesan cheese to the mix. And we're going to add our salt, white pepper, and nutmeg as well. We're going to take our whisk and we're going to whisk it in until this cheese is melted. And you got to keep whisking to make sure you break it all up. Oh, and by the way, I put my noodles in the water about 3 minutes ago, so they're cooking as well. You know, it's kind of weird trying to figure out what to do when you're cooking. What should I make first? You know, my rule of thumb is do the noodles first. Just get them out the way, man, because they're a pain in the ass. But anyway, we're whisking away. Alright, once you got your Parmesan cheese in here and you mix it up real well and it turns creamy, I mean, this sauce is basically done. Now, we're going to add our Italian parsley flakes. We're not going to add all of them. We're going to use some, keep some, keep some for a garnish at the end. So we're gonna put more than half in here, and we're gonna mix that in to our Alfredo sauce. Now look at this. This is creamy. It smells garlicky, Parmesan-y. Parmesan-y? Is that a word? It is now. Hey! Cooking with Jesse. We having a good time. Hopefully you're having a good time. If you're not, get some drinks. Do something, man. Anyway, this sauce is done. Now while we were in editing break mode, I already drained my pasta. I'm going to turn the heat off because this is done. I drained my pasta, put a little olive oil in there and mix it around so it'll stay good. Now we're going to put our dish together. We got everything we need. We got our chicken. We got our Alfredo sauce. We got our noodles. Oh, you didn't see the chicken? Yeah, we still got the chicken. It's right there. Oh, it's dripping all over me. Great. Yay! Now let's put this together and finish this meal. Oh, sorry. Just listening to the passerby music bumping out of his car. Anyway, we're done, baby. Now all we gotta do is put this together on a plate for our wife, for our husband, for our little kids, because they're gonna love it. So this is what we're gonna do. Now, we're gonna use a mixing bowl and we're gonna put some noodles in here so we can mix it with the sauce. So we're gonna go get our noodles. They're right back here. I got a friend they call Noodles. His name's Jason. Hit him up. Jason.com. He's on Facebook, whatever. Noodles. Anyway, we got our noodles in our bowl. Now we're gonna take our Alfredo sauce, keep it whisking so it's smooth. We're gonna ladle in enough Alfredo sauce to cover this pasta. Now you might think, I want more Alfredo sauce. You'll get it, so shut the hell up. Now, we got it in here. And we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna toss it together like a salad. Just like a salad. Toss up the noodles so they get all that sauce covered in there. Now we're going to transfer it to our plate. So we're going to take our fettuccine. Oh my God, this smells absolutely amazing, people. Let me tell you, it's so easy to make Alfredo sauce. And I have a feeling you're going to be making it for a long time after you see this video. If you see this video. If you don't see this video, ask your friend about it. Now, we got our plate with the fettuccine. We're going to put a few slices of this nice chicken on here. I cut these pretty big, so we don't need a lot. It's like kind of like a meatball, but it's chicken breast fried in flour. After that, the next thing we're going to do is add a little bit more sauce, like I promised you. Make sure you whisk it a little bit because it gets a little sticky in here. So take your ladle and drizzle it over the chicken. Oh my goodness. My girl right now is looking at me like, turn these cameras off so I can stuff my motherfucking face.
Yeah, hurry up.
You hear? That's her. She's great. Puerto Rican, whatever. And that's it, people. Oh, never mind. We're going to put a little boom, bang, ha! Parsley flakes, baby. We put them on. Oh, and that's a wrap. We're talking about chicken, fettuccine, Alfredo. Let me say it again. Chicken, fettuccine, Alfredo. For all you people out there. Now you know what I'm about to say, right? Let's eat.